Hey Anavah family, it's Moral Scott here to talk to you today about your mobility for tomorrow's at-home workout or comp train workout, depending on which one you want to do. Now my idea behind this is to give you a mobility workout, something that's 10 minutes or less per day for you to do. Want you to be able to work on your mobility restrictions while you're still at home. Might be something that you don't usually get to do at the gym, so I thought I'd go ahead and program this and show you how to do it, so while you're at home we can work on some of these things. And when you come back, you can squat below parallel. All right, so what we're going to work on today and most days is going to be two different sections. We're going to have an upper body or a lower body section for each day, trying to target some different areas and different modes of or modalities of doing mobility work. So what's going to happen is I will explain it to you here. I'll then take you into each one. I'll video a short little snippet of how it works, give you a couple points, and lead you on your way. So first one, banded chest stretch. This is going to help us improve our overhead position, right? Our ability to get our hands behind our head. Now, don't necessarily need a band for this one. If you're at home, you don't have a band or a place to hook a band up, using a wall will be fine. Your tricep smash. Trying to release some of that tension we have in our triceps. Even if you're not doing the comp train version of tomorrow's workout, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. It'll be fine. You still probably need some of this to release some of that tension. World's greatest stretch, going on to the lower body part now. Good for working your hamstrings, your hip flexors, trying to loosen both of those up. There are some box jumps, there are some jumping modes in the workout, so definitely want to try and work on being able to have our hips and our hamstrings be flexible no matter what workout you choose. And finally, this heel cord smash is probably an area most people have never even thought to mobilize, right? We're talking about your lower calf there. Basically, running, jumping, all that stuff takes a beating, even walking on your day-to-day, and it's really not something most people address. So that can lead to different things, upstream or downstream, right? You could have some ankle issues if that place is super tight, maybe some knee problems because you're overcompensating there. So hopefully working on this will loosen you up, improve your ankle mobility a little bit. So let's go to the description. Hey Anavah family, we're going to go over the heel cord stretch. Okay. Second one. Hey Anavah family, we're going to go over the heel cord smash. So like I was saying earlier, this is one where if you're doing a lot of running, jumping, even walking, this part of your body, which is right here, kind of your Achilles area, right, the bottom of your calf where it attaches to your ankle, that part of your body is going to get super tight and it's going to take quite a beating. When that gets tight, it can lead to some ankle issues, it can lead to some overcompensation problems since you have lacking ankle mobility, so it might lead to some knee issues. So what I want you to do is be able to go in there and release some of that tension. So what we're going to do, 2 minutes per side, I want you to place your heel cord onto something hard. So I have a kettlebell here. You might have, a can or maybe a lacrosse ball, but I want it to be something where you can raise your hips up a little bit with it. So put a couple of books, then put your can or put your lacrosse ball on it so you can really dictate the amount of pressure you're putting on it. So I'm going to put my heel cord on top. I'm going to put my other foot on top of that. I'll raise it up. Once that happens, if you need to cry a little bit, that's fine. It's going to be a lot of pressure. So again, if you need to not put so much weight on it, just drop your hips. From there, I can wiggle my toes around, work on different sides. I can go side to side. Really just trying to attack that area. If you find a super tight spot, try and stay there and work your toes to try and work out that knot that might be there. Okay? Next one. World's greatest stretch. So what I want to do, front foot out in front of me, back leg behind me, kind of like a runner stance. I want to keep my back knee off the floor. Okay? With my front hand, I want to try and bring my elbow to the ground, come up, reach all the way to the side, and repeat that. Slow reps. I want to try and do that for 12 per side. Idea being here, 12 slow reps, really trying to get the maximum stretch you can out of your hip flexor and your hamstring, so that way you're a little more loosened up for some of these jumping, rowing movements you might have in your workout, depending on which one you choose. Right, Anavah people, Mortal Scott here again. We're going to go over the banded chest stretch. I want you to try and go for 90 seconds on either side here. Once we get into the stretch, if you feel like you can last for more than 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, maybe up to 3, do so. But we'll see when we get there. So the behind the scenes movie magic that you didn't see happen is that one, I wrapped this band around the pull-up bar, and then I wrapped my hand around the band so where it's in my palm. What I want to do next is take a knee, right? So I want to try and get enough tension in the band where it's pulling on my shoulder a little bit, but I'm always keeping my palm up. What I'm going to do next, with my forward knee, I want to try and take my hand, press it on the outside, and twist to the opposite direction. What that's going to do is really intensify the stretch in your upper chest here. I want you to try and hold that for as long as you can. If you feel like, man, that's really tight, relax a little bit, go back into it, try and find a new range of motion. Okay? Hey now people, Mortal Scott again. We're going to go over the non-equipment version of the banded chest stretch. So if you don't have a band, you don't have a pull-up bar at home, and you weren't able to do that version of it, you can do a version of it by yourself with a wall. So if you go up to a wall, I want you to take your hand and your arm and put it behind you up against the wall. Then what you're going to do, try and touch your shoulder to that wall and twist away, just like you would twist away in the banded version. That's going to mimic that same type of stretch, targeting your upper chest. If you feel like it's not enough of a stretch or too much of a stretch, what I want you to do is relax, either step away from the wall or just take your shoulder away from the wall, and then try and go back in. Twist a little bit further, see if you have a new range of motion. All right, guys, last one. We're going to go over the tricep smash. All I need for this one, a wall, a foam roller, maybe a lacrosse ball. So, and if you don't have any of those things, again, maybe something like a can or a rolling pin or something cylindrical. You can find something. I believe in you. A cup. Anyway, so go up against the wall. Maybe not a cup. If it's glass and you put a lot of pressure on it, that might not work well. So disregard that one. Okay, I don't condone those type of actions. All right. So next up, tricep smash. Foam roller up against the wall. Tricep up against the foam roller. Maybe I should go this side. Tricep up against the foam roller. What I want to try and do here is add pressure to it by leaning into the wall and moving up and down. I'm trying to target this longer head of my tricep here. So I'll continue to do that. If I find a particularly tight spot in my tricep, what I can then do is bend my arm and unbend it, and that's going to add a little bit more pressure to it. That's going to help you break up whatever knots you might have in there a little bit more. Again, that's another one. I want you to try and do 90 seconds per side there. If you have any suggestions for these mobility sessions, if you have any questions, just let me know. This was the first time I'm doing it, so production quality is not exactly the best, but as the show grows and I'm able to hire more cameras and crew, I'm sure I'll get a little bit better. So please leave your donations in my mailbox, and I'll get back to you. Thanks.